Hey everybody, and welcome back to Grounds Family Farm. Are we super excited about the progress we're making on the new shed? It's really great weather out. It's super windy, but it's a lot cooler, and so it's actually bearable to be able to work. As you saw in the last video, we got the wall stood up, and it's really starting to look pretty nice and actually looking like a shed. Still got a lot of work to go, but we're getting a lot closer, and it won't be long before we'll be able to reveal to you what it's going to be. Today, Kimberly's at work, so the girls and I are going to try to work on this ourselves and see how it goes. We're going to start with the rafters. We've got to cut them, do a bunch of measurements with that, hopefully get them mounted up there, and then if we have time, we may be able to run to town and buy some more boards to do the lath, and then we'll be ready to put the roof on. Once we get the roof on, we'll be able to start doing the siding, build out the door and all that good stuff, and then it's going to be just a matter of putting it to use. So come along with us. We're fixing to get started. Like I said, got a lot of measuring and cutting to do, so should be an exciting video. Okay, so these are the boards we're going to use for our rafters. They're 10-foot boards. We've got to cut them down to 9 foot 10 inches, and we need 6 of them. So I've got 3 over here, 3 over there. The girls are going to help me get them measured and marked. Then I'll cut them. We'll look for the crowning on them. We've had a lot of people suggesting that on all of our stuff, and we haven't been doing that. So we're going to give that a try, and then we've got to cut some angles off on the ends so that they'll set right whenever they're at a slant on top of the roof. And then we've got to cut out notches where they're actually going to go across the wall. I think that's called dog-eared or something like that. I can't remember. If you know what it is, leave it down in the comments. And that way we'll know for next time. Because like I said, I've used the term before, but it's been so long I can't remember what it's called. Okay, so we're going to go through here. Do one of y'all want to go down there and put that on the board? The first board. Okay. So like I said, we got to have 9 foot 10 inches. Yep, and here's 10 inches. Okay, Abs, I need you to stay down there because we got to do each one of them. Next board.
And then we're going to need this to mark the walls.
Yep, do you remember what that's called?
I do. Speed square.
Speed square, that's right. What shape is it though?
Triangle.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, huh? It's called a speed square, but it's a triangle. Ought to be a speed triangle.
Yeah, it's not a square.
No, the reason it's called that is because you use it to square up your boards, or you can square up a corner, things like that. So that's why it's called a speed square. Because the way you test if stuff's squared is the Pythagorean theorem, which you'll learn whenever you get to geometry. And that's a squared plus b squared equals c squared.
What?
And as long as those numbers equal out right, you know that your building is square. That's why we didn't do it on this one, because it's probably not exactly square.
No, more like a rectangle block.
Okay. Well, square means like squared up corner, 90-degree corners. Yep, you get to do that on this one, and on the next one, you'll do the tape measure, and she'll mark them. Okay, yep. Okay, make sure you get it up in that corner real good. Yep, one good line, that's all it takes. Hang on, let me get it.
That's good. One straight line.
Yep, okay. So now we'll go over here. You'll run the tape measure on the end, and Abby will get to mark them.
Yeah. You think this wall's sturdy?
Let's hope. Oh, there's the nail. I was looking for this the other day. I knew I shot one out the side, but Kimberly and I couldn't remember where it was, and we were just trying to get things done because it's getting close to dark. Okay, on the end, which board are you going to do first? The far one? Okay. Next one? Is it on good? Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Is that good?
Yep.
I did good.
Nope.
Good enough.
Nope. Gotta keep your pencil straight all the way through.
Hello, Daddy.
Hello. We're gonna get this set up here and let you see some cutting. I'll do the cutting, but y'all can carry boards in a minute. Just set them, yeah, I'm just going to set them right here because we got to do a lot more cuts on them, so.
And in here, mine.
Okay.
In a minute.
So we used treated boards on this whole thing. The price wasn't that much more to do treated instead of just the other. Plus all that the Lowe's had was like kiln dried, like white wood of some sort, fur or something, and it just didn't seem as sturdy as what these were. So even though they're going to be covered, they're treated, so they ought to last for a long time. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about on this, is on each end, like the top, we got to take off, cut at an angle, 5 inches in on the bottom, and then on the bottom side, we'll do 5/8 of an inch from the top, and we got 10 inches to each end of our dog ear. So we're fixing to get set up to get that done and see how that goes. Okay, so we're just going to put a little line down here at 5/8, and then I'm going to get the top part lined up with the top of the board, get that lined up with that. Oh wait, I need to...
You scared me, Alice.
Oh, I think we got lucky on that one. Yep. Okay. So this is what it's going to look like. Now let's see if we can get this to cut right. It looks like those are going to be about 10 degrees. So I'm going to cut every one of these on this end first, and then adjust the saw the other way to do the other end. I may still measure every one of these just to make sure, because I don't want to mess this up. Because if that saw just gets bumped a little bit, our whole thing is messed up. I think if we just flip the boards over, it'll be right. Okay, so the long end on this needs to be the opposite on the other. So I think flip. Yep, I think that'll have it. Pretty sure. Long, yep, okay. Okay, so this is what you're doing so y'all understand. Okay, these boards are going to be at an angle on these walls because the front one's higher. And so what this does is, with it cut like this...
Oh, I know. You stick it on there.
Well, whenever you stick it on top, see, this is at an angle, so it'll be flat and the water will run off the... It won't like catch water and stick out the front of the roof. So when we stick it up there, there's going to be metal across here. If we didn't cut off this bottom edge, it would stick out farther than the top because it's at an angle. So if we do this, it should be flat whenever we stick it up there. And the back is the same way. Well, we got to do some more cuts first. Okay, so like on these, it's wanting us to go in 5/8 of an inch, which each one of these little dots are 1/8 of an inch. This is 1 inch, so there's 8. There'll be 7 in between. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's the 8th one. So we're wanting to go in 5, which this is a halfway mark, which we know is 4, and so you just put a little dot by the 5th one there. And then, to get our angle, we hold our thumb up here and keep this even at the top, and just rotate it around till it lines up with our bottom line. And then we just draw a line down it like that. And
we're going to cut that?
Then we'll cut that off.
Cool, let's cut it.
Huh?
Don't cut your fingers.
Try not to. So show me where it goes. So the long one there is the halfway point. You got to go one past it. Yep, so you just put a little bitty line on the board right beside it. Let me check it. Okay, here, try to keep it just one line, because whenever you go to measure that, so you got to keep your thumb up there, just rotate it around till it's on there. There you go. Yep. Yeah, so put a little dot right here on the board.
Right here?
Here.
You do it, I don't know.
Okay, right here.
And I will draw a line.
Okay, here's that. Let me get it lined up. So hold our finger up there, get this lined up.
Ready?
Yep. All the way across. Okay. Good. Now this is where it's going to get fun. So it wants us to go 10 inches down from that piece. So we'll do 10 inches. This is not working out with all this wind.
Hey, but the wind feels good.
I watched The Secret how to do this, but the last time I did it, but I don't remember what it was. Okay, that's roughly 5/8 to give us an idea. Now from here to up here, since I haven't done this in a while, I'm going to use a scrap piece of wood first. No, we need a jigsaw. Mine's broke though. Let's go inside for a break. Okay, so it's the next day. Kimberly's back with us. She's off work today. And I've been talking a lot during these builds is if you have the right tools, it makes the job a lot easier. Yesterday, we were struggling a little bit trying to cut these bird's mouth. I called them dog ears. I knew it was some sort of animal part, but it's bird mouth cuts. And I was trying to use a speed square, and it would normally work okay, except for it's got this ridge where it hooks over the board. And so when you're trying to cut an angle, it doesn't set flush or flat against the board. So we decided to run to town and pick us up a normal square so that it lays flat and we can mark these properly to get the job done. So out with the speed square for now. And also I was trying to use a skill saw or miter saw, but the problem with that is since the blade is rounded, you're either going to cut past where you have to go or you're going to have to use a wood chisel and chisel it out. And we didn't want to have to do that. So I used to have a jigsaw, but it messed up. So we went and picked up another jigsaw too. It was actually fairly inexpensive because it came from Harbor Freight also. We already had the batteries and stuff, so I was able to buy the tool only, and so it really wasn't that big of a expense to be able to do this job properly and make it a lot easier. So now that we got all that out of the way, we're fixing to get started measuring these and getting ready to get them cut. So I think to make these even, it has you measuring in from each end of the board, but that leaves some room for error for your actual build. Like ours does not come out exact to what their measurements are, so we're going to take all of our measurements from the end. And I actually went up and measured the distance from the back side of the back wall to the front side of the front wall. Or I guess the back side of the front wall. And so I know where to put my marks to make my cut. So that's what we're going to do first. And it's supposed to be, the first one is going to be 10 inches in from the end. So we're just going to put a mark there. And then the other one's going to be 94 inches and a quarter. Or 94 and a quarter inches, however you want to say it. Okay, and by doing that, we should get where it fits pretty well in our spot. Okay, let me think. It's deep side back. So on these, what you're wanting is it's going to sit at an angle on your walls to get your slant or slope for your roof. And so these boards are 3.5 inches width because they're 2x4s. And we're going to go 5/8 of an inch up. So at our 10-inch mark, I'm going to go up, get it on the 5/8 inch mark, and I'm just going to rotate this around until I get it to where 3.5 inches is coming off the edge of the board. And you got to make sure that you stay on 5/8. You're just going to hold it real carefully and hope you don't move. And if you do, it may be off a little bit, but it's part of building. We're going to do the exact same thing down here at our 94 and a quarter inch mark. And this should get us where we're at the right slants for our boards to sit properly. And you'll get to see in a minute, we'll set this up on there, see how it worked out to see if we were actually accurate or not.
Yep.
Then I'm just going to cut these. I'm going to cut the long part and then cut up to cut up the notch. Main thing with these, you have to go fairly slow because these blades, oh, that's hot. These blades will bend if you get to going too fast, and so you just got to take it slow. I've got it cut on the fast, or set on the fast setting, but I still want to go slow, otherwise the blade will bow and you won't have a flat spot in there. That looks pretty good. Occasionally, if they're wrong, you can just set it back through here and just kind of work it and it'll smooth it up some. But like I said, that one looks like it did pretty good.
Yep.
Like I said, the real test will be when we put it up. And as long as the boards up there aren't warped too bad, it should work out pretty good. The other hard thing is making sure you keep this flat, because since we don't have boards on both sides, you want to keep the right side flat, that way that it cuts straight. And I did this one a little crooked to show you. Not really, but I messed it up, so I'm going to show you. See how it's got a little bit of a ridge there? Yep. And we're just going to take this. Kind of flatten it. It's still a little off on the bottom, but without severely messing it up, I didn't want to do anything else, so that should sit pretty close. I guess I could turn it over.
That looks better.
Yeah, that gets it pretty close. So now we're just going to go set it on top of our wall to see how it looks.
Okay.
I'll set it on this side so that you'll be able to see it a little better.
Oh.
Well, if y'all just saw that, this is why you measure twice and cut once. I had in my head 94¼ inch, but that's the distance between the two walls. And I have to add 10 inches onto that because of the back. We discussed this before we got started. I knew it was 104, but for some reason, whenever I just started measuring, I just went with 94¼ So this one's gonna have an extra notch in it, but this just goes to show, even if you mess up, you can still fix it and keep on going.
Yep.
We're still going to use this board because I don't think it will be enough of a notch to weaken it. So we don't get like a whole lot of snow or weight load or anything out here, so we're just going to roll with this and see what happens.
Yep, it is all part of it.
Yeah. I still feel dumb for doing that though. Like I said, we talked about
but
what it was before.
Stuff happens though.
Yes, it does. Okay, try this again. And that was a good cut too. I didn't even have to clean it up. It was nice.
Yeah.
And then it's just in the wrong spot. Okay, so let's see if we can do this right this time. There's a knot right here, so I hope it doesn't cause any issues. Yesterday we had a nice windy day, so it kept all the sawdust out of the way, but today it's nice because we don't have to have mics, but this dust doesn't all blow away. Okay, who wants to see this again?
It'll work this time. I've got faith.
Yeah, that was a very bad feeling when I put it up there and it was nowhere close. So I was like, what in this world have I done? That one's still a little... Maybe the building right here on this end was not exact.
I don't know.
Not sure either. This one, I don't know if it's the wall or what. I'll measure in a minute to see. But we were just, I don't know, about a quarter off on where it needs to be. So I just used a square, got it straight with the wall, and we're going to cut out the little bore notch. That way, at least the roof will set even on top. Definitely won't use this one for a template, though.
Yeah.
Okay, try again.
Third time's the charm.
We'll see.
Maybe anyway. So far, so good.
Still a little. I can't get that.
I don't either. Huh. It's very, very little on this side
I think
too.
it's going to be good enough, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm not doing it again.
No, I think it looks pretty good.
And I think since it was notched out for it changed our angle a little bit. And so
Could have been.
it might be one that's not sitting quite. If it's sitting, it might pull it up a little bit more. I don't know, but I think that's good enough.
Yeah, that'll work.
I'm not going to leave this up here because I don't want somebody to bump it and get knocked in the head.
Yeah. Because you measured down on the other end, didn't you?
I did measure on the other end. Oh yeah, this is only 94 here.
Oh, okay.
So this is 94 1/4. This may be where this wall was warped. Some,
Yeah.
so it's not exact. I don't want to go through and measure every one of these though. So I'm probably just going to. Well, there's only 5. So
Yeah.
okay, so this one will be the next one. I'm going to guess what we don't have. It's just a shade under 94 1/4.
Okay. Well, at least you figured out what the issue was.
Yeah.
Do I need to write those?
Poor quality boards is part of it.
Yeah.
But that's all you seems you can buy anymore.
Yeah, because I mean, you picked out the best.
Yeah, I hand picked them at Lowe's. But
Yeah. You said 94 1/4.
that's 94 1/4. That was just a shade under 1/4, so but it's not quite an
Okay.
8. So maybe 3/16. That's 94 and 5/8.
Okay.
We're just gonna roll with it and see what happens.
Okay.
There's 10 inches, and I'm gonna go 104.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
You said just a shade under a quarter.
yeah, 3/16.
Okay.
We'll probably get good at this by the time we get to the last one.
Yeah.
It's usually the way it goes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well. You live and you learn.
Maybe at least be better.
Yeah.
Try this one.
That looks nice.
Yeah, that sits.
So it's much better.
That was gonna sit good.
Yep.
Okay.
All
So
right.
the next one's 94 1/4, and another one's 94 and
5/8.
5/8.
Yep. Okay.
Here, we'll just keep the girls off here for now. I'm just gonna leave that up there.
Okay.
So it's out of the way. Okay. Maybe we can get lucky again.
I don't think it's luck. I think it's strategic measurement, but
Yeah, I just should have done that before.
well, it happens.
Said 1/4, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Try this one now. This will be board number 3. How's that one sit? Pretty nice.
Yep, very little.
That's good.
Okay, and the other one's 5/8.
Yep.
I don't have to measure the others.
Okay. So definitely the best thing to do on this is to measure each individual one if you're able to.
Yeah, unless your building's 100% square.
Yeah. All right, guys, so we got a call from a neighbor, and our emu is back out. We'd been hearing that maybe she'd been getting picked on because my father-in-law was saying that that's what he'd been seeing lately. And sure enough, she's out in our neighbor's field. So thankful for neighbors that are kind of cool with this, even though, you know, it's not really a cool thing. But we're gonna have to try to get her back to the pen. Actually, we're gonna put her in a different pen and see if she stays this time. Because this is not okay to keep having to chase an emu. But at least it's daylight this time, so she won't be quite as skittish. Hey, baby girl.
Yeah, she may still be a little bit since she's in a new place. But
Hey, baby. She didn't want the feed the last time she was out. Because she actually got out the other day. She was out whenever I came home and I was able to put her up easily. But she really didn't want to go back in there. And then I found out that she'd been kind of getting picked on, so. Hi. Hey, you're okay. You're okay. That's all right. Yeah, it's a lot easier in the daylight. We've got the pillowcase over her head. It took both of us. But we've got reinforcements on the way with some rope because we're probably going to have to tie her legs to be able to put her on the gator and get her back where she needs to be. As you can see, pillowcase on her head completely calmed her down and made it to where she's workable, and this is not so big of a issue trying to control her. We don't want her to get all completely anxious or anything either, but we're almost back up here to the gate. But once we get there, we are gonna have to wait a minute until our help arrives with the rope. Emu Rodeo Part 2 is pretty wild. At least this one's a little better because it's daylight, so.
Yeah, the artificial lights made it a lot worse.
Yep. But we had already had plans for where we were going to move her later today after hearing that she'd been being picked on a little bit, and then me having to put her up yesterday or day before or whatever. But it's just going to happen a little earlier today than we anticipated. Get back to our building project in a little while.
Yep. Crazy.
This is what we do on the farm. Adjust and adapt. Okay, so tied her feet so she couldn't kick anybody and hurt them. Had to tie her feet to her body just so that she would not be able to move and hurt herself since she was tied. And came back with her in the back of the gator, Kevin holding on to her, and we're about to turn her loose down here in the donkey and horse pasture where the other emu also is. We've already shut the bottom gate since we were planning on doing this. But now she is free.
Yeah.
Hey girl!
You okay?
You better now? Hi girlfriend. She's a little scraped up because where she's gone through fences, but we had no idea that she had gotten out. Yeah, otherwise she's fine. Just a few scrapes and she's obviously walking fine. So I guess we're okay. We'll continue to monitor her today and make sure she doesn't get out of this. But she has a lot more space to run, so she ought to be fine.
And this fence is taller too.
Yeah.
Not a lot taller, but maybe enough that it'll work.
Yeah.
Plus, if she was getting picked on the others and was trying to get out of the other pen, then she's got room to get away down here from anything.
I know for sure 2 days ago, she did not want to go in. I had to shove her in from behind to get her to go. And then she went to the opposite end of the pen from them, so. You gonna check it out? You gonna check it out? And the good thing is we have field fence over here and not barbed wire, so she can't just walk through at her pleasure. But we're gonna let her settle for a little bit and we'll come back and check on her in a little while. Okay guys, so that just goes to show how life on the farm here is. It can go from completely calm, working on a project, to having to spring into action and go track down your animals. I hope we've got that problem solved now. I mean, really, really hoping we got that problem solved because that was crazy.
Yes.
But we've got her in the pen. We'll check on her in a little bit. And now we are getting back to work because we are so close to getting to where we can actually finish this up.
Also, if anyone has a better suggestion, or I guess a suggestion for a better saw than a jigsaw for this, I'd love to hear it. Because like I said, jigsaws are just tedious.
Yep.
And I would like to know something else, but like I said, a skill saw, with them being just 2x4s, I used a skill saw when I used 2x6 rafters, but on this one it called for 2x4, and I just don't want to overcut with the round blade. And I know some of y'all probably are thinking I'm crazy for holding the board and cutting, but if it goes through, most likely the blade's going to break, plus that's what health insurance is for.
No.
Safety first. It's just harder to try to hold it any other way. It's awkward, so
Yep.
the chances of that slipping and like cutting something off is not as big of a deal as like a skill saw that's got a bigger, stronger blade.
Yep. As you can see, this is really coming together. I mean, these are not secure up there yet, but we've at least got them.
I'm just going to take my chances on it.
Okay.
And then cut this other one, and then I'll get up on the ladder and get them lined up, and then it'll be time to get the nailer out.
Yep.
These boards that are a little drier than the other ones cut a lot better. The ones that are still wet with the treatment stuff just are harder to cut.
Yeah.
They try to bind the blade up more than the dry ones. But like I said, I like the treated wood. Pretty good.
Good deal. Yeah, there we go.
Pretty good. Good enough.
All right. So let me get a look from this end. How nice that looks. It's all coming together. All right. So working on the, what'd you say it's called? Header boards for the door. Had to put mics on because, as is the normal for us here, the wind just started up. Feels wonderful though. So we decided on a 6-foot tall door. That will be plenty tall for us for what we're needing.
Okay, so now
Measure the distance and cut that.
yeah.
I wonder if one of your scrap pieces will
36. Huh?
work. I wonder if that.
No, none of these are 36. I'm going to cut this though.
Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
One you were working on.
Yep. That didn't work out.
Yep. It's really awesome though, seeing this thing go up and knowing that we're the ones doing it. So, because he built the donkey and horse shelter, but I wasn't really a part of that. So
it still needs some more work. I haven't put a roof on it, and I need to finish out the siding. But we will need to do that before winter.
Yep. But kind of got a good group with this one, so
yeah.
Maybe once this one's done.
Which, if this holds up with these plans, then I way overbuilt the other one.
Yeah, because it was built way.
I used 2x6s and all kinds of stuff, and if 2x4s is all it needed,
yeah,
then might have had a little bit of a waste of money.
But that's okay. Just means it's extra sturdy. It definitely served its purpose last year, and they stayed warm. So.
Mm-hmm. I was surprised those tarps held up all winter.
I know, they're still holding strong too. Emu's down there at the bottom gate.
She's like, "Let me out of here."
Trying to see if I can zoom in enough. Yep, you can see her. But she's calm and she's not like looking for an escape. I think she's just looking at her boundaries because now she's coming back this direction. So
okay, so on these I just screwed them together to kind of hold them, and I'm just going to make sure that everything looks like it fits. I think it's going to be a good fit.
Yeah. That makes sense. Work smarter, not harder. Just makes sense. Have something to hold the boards up.
Yeah, until I get part up, then I'll have to take them down to get underneath, but good to me.
Yep.
They're probably supposed to lay the other way, but I like the way they look this way and they just feel sturdier. And so this is the way I'm going to do it. Okay, we're just going to toenail these in. I don't know if I'll need those for anything else or not. Feels good and sturdy. I'm going to get my ladder set up and then get these. Got to measure first. Okay, all we're doing right here is I'm marking. We've got to put a board right here where this joist is, or rafter is going to sit on. And that's what it was in directions, but since we didn't have our door and stuff framed up yet, we hadn't done it yet. So that needs to be 13 inches exact.
Okay.
Lucky 13.
And one of these boards ought to work.
Oh yeah, definitely. Probably use one of these bigger ones though. Yep. Oh, there may be 13 right here. Oh yeah. Finish this one out.
Yeah. Less waste. Always a good thing. Well, the emus have found each other. So maybe they will get along. We'll check back in a minute and see how they're doing.
Maybe love at first sight.
Let's hope. If it's not, then at least they'll tolerate each other, hopefully.
Yeah, they got more room to get away from each other.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to cut this tight. I may have cut it a little too tight.
Do you need another board?
Nah, hammer's right here. Because I cut it where it would be exactly 13, and
yeah,
it may need to be a saw width blade less. Yep, that'll work.
All right. So now you have some support for the.
Huh?
Now you have that support for the rafter.
Mm-hmm. Okay, these first ones just line up on the very edge, so we're just gonna do that, and then that went out.
Uh-huh.
So I need to be at a greater angle on this end one. We'll have to fix that. I'll nail that in better.
Okay.
Sturdy. Okay. Get this one on here. Get it close down there.
All right.
Okay, got all these in, so. All I'm doing now is on these outside edges where there'll be siding and stuff going on. I'm just going through and kind of tidying up. We had a few nails shoot through and things like that, or if the nail heads are sticking out. We've got one more nail to put in on this outside here, and then we've got a little bit of cleanup to do on the other side, and then it'll be time to put lath on the top. And the lath just runs long ways across the top of these rafters, and that's what the metal actually screws down to.
Gotcha. I did not know what that meant. I'm not too great on some of the building terms sometimes. I'm learning too.
Won't be long, you'll see Kimberly building something out here.
You never know.
Yeah, I gotta go to the other end, and there's a couple over here too. Now we need to look, see what length it said to cut these, and make sure I have enough boards, because I may not have enough. Because I knew that this was going to be toward the end, and we'd spent all the money we had at that time.
Yeah.
That we had available for this project. Oh, this shows doing the siding first, then the lath, but we're not doing it that way. 2x4 is 12 foot. We need 6 of them. And I'm pretty sure I don't have that. We can get started.
Okay.
And then we'll know what to get. Let me go grab the boards. These are a little warped too. We're just going to try to pull them into place where they go.
Seems to be the name of the game here lately.
Yep.
There
That'll
you go.
work.
This one does siding and then roof.
Do what?
This one does siding and then the roof.
Yeah. And part of it is, well, I don't know because it doesn't make sense, but the way they do it, you got to do a lot of blocking afterwards. But I think maybe doing this first, we may not have to because we can just run the siding up instead of having to
True.
block it with 2x4s.
Mm-hmm.
Is it on the edge?
Yes.
Try to speed this process up a little bit. Go 2 at a time, and then I'll do the end one, and then we'll have to wait till we get some more boards for the other ones.
Yeah. Get it mostly done, and then the rest of it won't take all that long to finish.
Hopefully.
Especially since you've already kind of measured and marked.
Yeah, I've got them all marked where they should line up on these to have the right spacing. As long as the boards aren't warped too bad, it'll work out.
Really nice how it's coming together, though.
Okay, as you can see, the shed build is coming along great. This was a little slower than the walls, but it's mostly because there's a lot of ladder work and a lot of cutting. Whenever we're doing the bird mouth cut, it's just a tedious thing that takes a lot of time. If it wasn't for that, this would have went up fairly easily too. It wasn't too bad. The lath was probably the easiest part. I just hate that I didn't have enough boards. Whenever I'd bought them, I don't think I even meant for these to be used for that, but we had them extra from another project or something. But we've got 2 more that we need to do on that, and then we can either start with the tin or siding. I'm not sure which we're going to do yet. And then we'll get our door built in, but it's coming along great. It's just going to take a little bit longer, but we're ready to get it done. Another question I have for y'all is I would like, I think, to have some sort of wheels on the bottom of this. That way we can move it around, like maybe have wheels on one end and a jack or something on the other to jack it up and level it out. Not sure what to get. If you have any ideas what we might be able to use for that, leave a comment down below. Try to give us some ideas. We may end up not using wheels, but I just think if we're going to be able to move it and stuff, that it's going to make it a lot easier rather than just having to drag it with the tractor. And plus, it'll make it hold up better. May not be worth the cost, so it's just a matter of something we're going to have to weigh once we figure out what we might do with that. Like I said, I think that this probably would have went a lot better had we not had to stop right in the middle of it to chase down our emu. But thankfully, she went in a lot easier since it was daylight. But like I said, life on the farm is crazy. You never know what's going to happen. And we were planning on just having a day of building, and then that happened. So a lot of excitement. But we appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you next time on Grounds Family Farm. Bye.
Bye, guys.